I just made it halfway through a forest of Vanity and Valour, and oh my god, do I have some thoughts. Hey bookworms, my name's Tempera and this is Bound and Brood. If you're new here, a special hello, and if you're one of my subscribers, welcome to another video. No matter how you got here, there's always room for you in book club. But before we get into the book, can we please take a second and just stop and appreciate the map that is at the beginning of this story. This map is 100% giving off Lord of the Rings vibes. And don't get me wrong, I think there is a time and a place for describing things in a story. But when there's a map, you can focus on the smaller world-building details. When there's a map, an author can just say, hey, I'm at this city, or I'm leaving this city to go to this city. And that's exactly what he did. A.P. Beswick took out the guesswork of where we are navigating in this world and gave us a map that we can follow. So before we get into it, why don't you leave the word poster down in the comments, so if A.P. Beswick ever does release a box set, maybe we'll get a full-size poster to hang on our wall. A Forest of Vanity and Valour is much more than a retelling of a Robin Hood story. It gets back to what folklore and fairy tales and fantasy all used to be before Disney convinced us we'd have happy endings. Folklore and fairy tales used to play with the line between good and bad. They used to live in this morally gray area that really made you think about who the bad guy was. Just like in this story, you have Jereb and you have Vireo right now. They're basically two sides of the same coin. They both are stewards of the king. They are both just following orders. The difference is, Jereb is very likable at this point. Jereb has compassion for the people. The king is off fighting a war but keeps demanding more and more taxes to fund said war. Jereb sees the people struggling and hates that he has to give attaboys to the lords and the tax collectors who, quite frankly, are enjoying this. They're reaping the rewards and the benefits of doing this work for the king. Jereb is very conflicted with the fact that he has to follow the king's orders, but he also has to hand them down. The people are looking up at him as if he's the one who's making these decisions. Vireo, on the other hand, he almost enjoys it. I can understand why he's doing it, because in exchange he gets to keep all of his late parents' properties and titles and money, but the fact that he's taking pleasure in this is what kind of rubs me the wrong way. At this point of the story, he is not my favorite character. And that's all topped off by the fact that he is having a secret affair with Jereb's wife, Alana. Now, it does take two to tango, so take that how you will. But either way, it's not right. So, to top this all off, Alana one night sneaks out to Vireo's home. She asked him to run away with her. And of course, he obliges. But this is kind of the tipping point of the whole first act, I guess. So while Jereb is sleeping, a voice comes to him in the middle of the night to confirm his suspicions. The voice wakes him up and he finds that Alana is not in bed. He asks the guards where Alana is, and they find her escaping with Vireo through the courtyard. Of course, a big battle ensues, and Alana and Vireo are unfortunately captured. Alana is trying to reason with Jereb, and Jereb obviously is feeling betrayed, so he says, take her to the dungeon. Now this is where it gets worse. Alana then screams, I'm pregnant! And this is the smoking gun. This is the final nail in the coffin for her. Jareb has a secret that he has never told her. He's infertile. So not only is she stepping out on him, she's pregnant with Virio's child. Virio, acting on impulse, gives them a chance to get free. He has the guards place Alana in front of a target dummy and tells Virio, if you can shoot 3 shots into this dummy without hitting her, you're free to go. So, Virio, confident in his abilities, he strings the first arrow, pulls it back, boom, lets it go. Into the training dummy, no problem. Jareb says, I know that you never miss with that bow, so you're going to use a different one. Now Virio is left without a piece of him, without the very bow that he is trained with, his basic entire existence. He hunts with it. He fights with it. It is a piece of him, and now that is stripped away. Obviously, his confidence is stripped with it. So he fires the first shot with the new bow, and it grazes Alana's arm. This makes him even more nervous, and he's trying and fighting with himself to just shoot fast and straight. And he does shoot fast and straight. Their arrow goes straight into Alana's heart. A fight breaks out, and you can see in the background Jareb's heartbreak. He's just holding Alana as she passes. Gillum and Lek have now made their way into the courtyard and are fighting to get Virio out of this situation. Virio breaks free from them and heads straight to Jareb. Gillum and Lek reclaim their friend. The guards have surrounded Jareb, and they book it out of there. And that's where the story ends. Well, that's where this half ends. They make their way straight to the forest. So my favorite part of the story so far isn't the characters, isn't the storyline, it's not the storytelling or the grand fights. It's a small detail that A.P. Beswick chose to make big. It's an iconic feature to an iconic character. It's the green cloak. Now, we've all seen pictures of Robin Hood in his green cloak or his green vest, and nobody's really given a why to it. We all just kind of assume that it's green because he's in the forest and green matches the leaves and the shrubbery and it kind of helps him blend in. But now we have a clear backstory behind the cloak. In the middle of the fight scene, Virio makes it to Jareb, just enough to rip the cloak from Alana's cold body. The cloak is now Alana. The cloak is now a symbol. The cloak is failure. The cloak is shame. The cloak is betrayal. The cloak is love lost. The cloak is now a why. The cloak will be his most prized possession. The cloak is his lover. The cloak is his lost heir. The cloak is everything that he had and will never have again. And that's so amazing. That is genius. That is what keeps readers thinking about this book. Every time you see a picture of Robin Hood after you've read this book, you'll think about Alana. You'll think about the loved lost. You'll think about the betrayal. You'll question who really is the bad guy. All in all, for me, this book so far is a winner. It started out a little slow, but I had to force myself to stop reading it once I got into the nitty-gritty of it. I could 100% sit down and read this book in one sitting. I want to pick it up. I want to finish it. And I will honestly probably pick up some more of his books and dive more into this universe. I like what he's creating, and I like the little details, and I'm excited to find more of those. So if you're excited to find more of those, go ahead and subscribe so you can hit another book club meeting. Don't forget to like the video if you like dark themes and dark tropes and content like this, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.